Fernando Alonso made his return to Formula One in 2021, marking his third stint with Renault under the guise of Alpine. Alonso's relationship with Renault led to his 2005 and 2006 drivers' titles and helped cement his name as one of the greatest drivers colliding. This resulted in a win for Hamilton.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PRL Season 8, Round 2, Tier 2 at the Austrian circuit in Spielberg, the Red Bull Ring. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We had some pretty interesting Prem and Tier 1 races. Lots of incidents seem to have occurred in both races, but hopefully our Tier 2 guys are going to give us maybe a little bit of a better showing, at least penalty-wise. So, how are we all doing today, gentlemen? Just waiting on the code. There we go. Now I'll be able to see all your comments easier. Beautiful. Alright, so. Beautiful. Alright. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Tonight, afternoon, wherever you're living. Let me just get all ensconced here. How are we, Polani? Hope you enjoyed our pretty chaotic Tier 1 race just now. While everything gets set up, why don't we watch Timgra, who is on, I believe, the first fast lap of the race, and he's off. So I guess we'll watch Maddie. Let's just hide some of the UI here while we watch our boy on his fast lap. Me as well, Darth. Me as well. Yeah. I'm down for that, Luca. Pardon me, gents, while I, load into my specific party so you guys don't have to hear me in game chat. There we go. I just have a party with Canuck that I start. So no one has to hear me in game chat. Alright, let's bring the UI back up. Kev King! Last week's winner, setting the bar high with a 105.1. Unfortunately, I won't be able to give you guys any comparisons to the Tier 1 guys because our qualifying was in the wet, but it was soft tires. I was actually kind of confused. But I mean, a 105.1 seems pretty quick. I know my fastest time trial lap is like a 103.9, so only a second down on that seems pretty quick. And then, of course, we have Maddie, who finished his lap as well, who finished with a 105.2, Chaos with a 106.0, Loki put in a 106.6, and I believe Sin and Greystone are going to put in much quicker laps than what they've already put in. Alright, so let me see who's on a lap here. Hines is on a lap, I believe. Looks like it. I was told by Canuck that Hines wasn't going to be racing today, but it kind of seems like he's racing right now, so. 106.8 for Hines. He's going to go much quicker than that for sure later on. So, why don't I make this nice and simple for everyone? And let me bring up last week's results just to see how everybody did. So, Well, actually... Oh, that was qualifying. Whoopsies. I was like, I don't remember. There we go. So, our race winner, as we said earlier, Kev King, won last week at Britain, followed by our man in the Alpine, Heinz, who finished P2, and Noob Plies, who was in the Ferrari. Is Noob here today? Noob does not appear to be racing today, so that's unfortunate. Followed by Canuck, who had an outstanding recovery drive, finished P4, starting dead last. And rounding out the top 5, we had Sadie Jackie in the Red Bull, who finished P5. Started P13 on the grid, so good race for the top 5. They all had very solid races, so I expect more of the same from all of them. Stay on board with Jackie here, because it looks like he's about to start his flying lap. And let's see what kind of lap he can put in that red and blue Red Bull. Yeah, the Tier 1 race was interesting, Darth. Oh, and Jackie's coming in. He was on full ERS, so I thought he was going for a lap, but never mind. Looks like Timgrid just started a lap. He didn't get to set one before because he went wide, so let's see what kind of lap he can put in. The timing screen said purple sector 1, but that's not always truthful. We all know that. And then we can swap to Heinz, because it looks like Heinz is back on another lap currently, and the top 10 are all in the pit. So I think I don't know about you guys in the chat, but I believe that this race is going to be very big on penalties, because Silverstone last week, if you guys watched it with me, it was a little bit chaotic, and Austria is not an easier track. And Timgra, great lap, 105.19. It's going to put him 9 100ths down on Kev King. Definitely a good place to be. Yeah, penalties, especially in the last 2 corners of Sector 3, they really catch you out. So hopefully we don't have as many pit lane issues as we did last week, because I believe while there was a lot of pit lane speeding that we caught, apparently a lot of it was due to the speedometer glitching. I had it actually this race in Austria just 30 minutes ago, where I was pitting and the speedometer was kind of having a little bit of an aneurysm, so I actually couldn't really tell how fast anyone was going. There's the man of the hour, Mr. Jesper, with the Tier 1 win. How are you, buddy? You drove an excellent race. Let's watch Heinz. I believe he's on a lap currently. Never mind, he's not using any ERS. What do we want to watch here? Chaos just started his lap. Here we go. Absolutely, Jesper. That was... Dude, we had like an 8-car pack within like 3 seconds of each other the last 8 laps. It was actually a really incredible race, apart from the other mega incidents that happened during the race. Chaos a little slow through turn 3 there. That corner is very tricky. I'm sure we all know that now. Just a little bit too much speed and you're going around. I believe Chaos actually raced as a reserve in the Tier 1 race. So some good practice for him for his race that actually counts here. Let's see what kind of lap our man Chaos can put on the board. Heinz is flying. Heinz is going a little slow. Chaos doesn't improve a lot. Heinz was down 1/10 and 400ths as we just saw him. What is he going to be down as he finishes this lap? I keep getting constant safety car notifications, but... Oh, I think Hines is coming in here. Yes, he is. Who do we want to watch? Maddie? Yeah. I think Maddie's on a flyer here. Never mind, he's doing no ERS, or he's not using any. Who's the AlphaTauri behind him? That's not Taver. Oh, here we go. It's JH. I believe he did not race last week. I don't think we had any Haas's last week. So I'm curious to see what the American team can do for us in Tier 2 here. We have JH and Tilwick. Yeah, that's fair, Jesper. I was in the midfield for a lot of that race, and there was lots of bumping and banging. Ooh, JH, yeah, he went a little wide. Doesn't look like his... He didn't validate, but he's turned off the ERS, so he's probably going to go for another one. An AlphaTauri and a Merc going really slow here. Yeah, I didn't watch the Tier 1 race, Polani, or not the Tier 1 race, the Premier race, but the way the guys were talking in chat, they did not seem like very happy campers. So, yeah, I do believe that our race was a little bit better than theirs in terms of incidents. The racing was very good. Apparently the racing was, JH did race last week? Interesting. Why do I not remember him then? Because I think there was a team last week, like a whole team that just didn't race. So who do we want to pay attention to? Dutch! The man! I raced with this guy in other leagues. Maddie sets a 104.8. That is the fastest time so far. That is... He finished 14th. Interesting. I forget what team didn't show up last week then. But Maddie, great lap, my man. That is that's nearing Tier 1 and Premier pace just alone. DNF. That's maybe why I didn't remember him too much. But new race, baby. Looks like I'm going to get a co-commentator for a little bit. So I will accept his friend request after Dutch's flying lap that we're watching right now. He was in an Alfa Romeo. That's why, because I had the name tag glitches, and I couldn't see people's names. That's why. Gotcha. Nice and clean through the second last corner for Dutch. Don't invalidate here. Lovely. How's he going to finish this? Looks like it's going to be a 104. Oh, close. 105.1 for Dutch. That puts him P3. So he's a reserve. Gotcha. Well, if he keeps racing as a reserve, he's going to get a full-time seat soon enough. He showed up to both races so far. All right. While we have a little bit of a break, let me get my co-commentator in here, Mr. Luco. Now, I just need to invite him to this party. Where is Mr. Luco? Apologies for the delay, gentlemen. There we go. Added Luco to the party, so hopefully he'll be able to join whenever he can. Let's watch our last week's winner, Mr. Kev King. He was up 7/100ths just after the first sector, so let's see what he can put into this next lap. Oh, little bit of a moment there. That is not going to help him gain any time. Still plenty of track left to make up time, though. He's still up 900, so he was clearly up a lot more time before that little bit of a snap there. Through the final corner for Kev King. Uses all the track he can. Does not invalidate. That is going to be a 104.7. 1/10 above Maddie. And that is provisional pole by a very good margin. Does anyone have an answer for that? Maddie is on his outlap. He's going to have one more chance. Yeah, if not for that little moment, he might have been up another 10th or two. What can our man Maddie do? Everyone else appears to be in the pit still. A couple people might be coming out, but the man to watch as of right now is Maddie. Does he have anything for Kev King? Does anyone else on the grid have anything for Kev King? I know you're all fast drivers, all of you. I'm sure you guys can give a nice run to anyone in these top fives. Here we go. Maddie starting his lap. No invalidation into turn 1. Slow car coming up here, out of the way. Maddie is up 6/100ths. Just in sector 1. Lots of time to gain through these flying corners in sector 2 and 3. Carry as much speed as you can through this corner. No snap, unlike Kev King. That's already an advantage in of itself. There isn't an Alpine in front of him. That might give him a little bit of slipstream unless he doesn't get out of the way. Maddie does lose a little bit of time. He's now 500ths down. The Alpine gets out of the way. That's going to give him a little bit of a slipstream there. Can he carry that speed through the final corner? Invalidates, and that is Maddie's qualifying over. Does anyone else have an answer? Timgra is finished. Monkey is on his lap now. He is P5 currently. We did not see his Sector 1 time, but he is flying. Can he gain any positions? He's only down 4-ish tenths. That's not a lot of time to make up. Down into turn 5. No snap. Lots of speed through that corner. How much time is he going to be up in Sector 2? Oh, a 10th and 600ths. That's going to put him almost P2 in front of Maddie. Can he gain any more time? Qualifying is officially over. Unless you're on a lap, your qualifying is finished. No invalidation. That's an invalidate for Monkey. Takes the final corner too tight. He will not gain any time. Maddie tried to go for another lap. Timgra is on a lap. Oh, what is going on here? Is there a race going on here? That may be an impeding by whoever that Aston Martin was. It was not Monkey. Through the final corner, Timgra, can he? And he does not improve. I don't know what happened with that Aston Martin, but that may have affected his lap. And unless we have any surprises, TAC Delta does not improve enough to gain any positions. JH does not. That is your qualifying order. Kev King in P1, followed by Maddie P2, Dutch P3, Timgra P5, and Monkey P5. I said Timgra for P5, but he's P4. My bad. And rounding out the top 10, Jackie with P6, Hines P7, Canuck P8, Tilwick P9, and Camo Banana P10. Ooh, that was a very good qualifying. Now that everything's calmed down, Mr. Luca, how are we?
Hey, it's great to be here. I'm doing pretty well, thank you. How about yourself? How was qualifying?
Qualifying was really good. I think I only saw maybe a little bit of a moment between a couple drivers, but qualifying was really close. Looks like, if we're going off quali times alone, it looks like Kev King and Maddie are going to be the drivers to watch.
Fantastic. I followed Kev King from last season. It's good to see him improving and challenging. And I heard you mentioning Timgra as well. I know he has good pace. So it looks like we're going to have a nice treat in store for us today.
Absolutely. I just realized that Timgra he was only slower by Dutch on his qualifying lap by 1/1000th of a second.
Ha!
Oh man. Yeah,
This
top 10 is close. I expect a very good race, and for all the people watching who may not know, unfortunately, we have formation lap off because, unfortunately, knowing EA, there are glitches in the game, and one of them is that apparently if you miss your starting box and you take a couple of corners, you may get disqualified. So, not a very good thing. Now,
soon to be patched, I hear.
Yeah, let's hope. I mean, they've been pretty good on the patches this game. I won't beat AA down for that one. They've been pretty solid with the other glitches. So hopefully this gets patched pretty quick.
Agreed. It's bad that these bugs are in the game. I'm kind of shocked that they're there, but it's good that they are fixing them relatively quickly.
Unlike F122, where it felt like bug glitches took multiple months just to get fixed.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to necessarily change the driving model too much. I think last game, that was that massive sort of major update, and they had to remove everyone's TTs. I don't think that's going to happen this year. No,
and that's what caused everyone to hate the handling. I think that was the update that really kind of... Like, the handling wasn't great in F122, but that update, I think, made it just as bad as it did. It really wasn't a very good update. You are correct, Jesper. All tiers are very close this season. I haven't been able to watch much of Premier, but Racing Tier 1 has been very close. Oh, here we go. 5 lights. No one jumped. Start. And we're off. Give me a better view. Kev King and Maddie are close, but Maddie backs out. Good decision. Let me get the spectator menu up. Give me a good broadcast view. Let's go through the field quick. No incidents, appears.
Can you ask Matty if he's not commentating to leave? Because he's stopping me from being able to join and watch. Because he's in the session, but he's not commentating, and there's only a max of 22 allowed.
Oh, because I have Matty as a racer right now. He's racing currently.
Oh, okay. Oh, it must be a glitch. I'm going to leave and rejoin then. Sorry about that. Yeah. I'll leave it with you. I'm going to mute.
Because we only have 17 drivers racing currently, so I don't believe you should have plenty of space to join.
Yeah, it's glitched. That's cool. Anyway, over to you, man. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. All right. So, a much more calm race start than last week at Silverstone. Seems everyone has gone on pretty okay. As I open my mouth, Grayson does go off the track, but he is still driving. No damage, it appears, on that McLaren. So we head back to the front of the field. Kev King and Maddie got off pretty well. The top 3 have not changed any positions. Jackie has had a pretty solid start. He's right behind his teammate, who's gained 2 positions. Followed by Timgra in P5, Monkey in P6, Tilwick in P7, Tac Delta P8, Camo P9, and Northern Canuck, who's actually lost 2 positions and may lose 3 here to Hines as we go into turn 3. I know what you'd think, oh, this is turn 2, but apparently that curved straight is actually a turn, so good meme from F1 there. Oh, and it looks like Tilwick's off. What happened here? What is going on with Tilwick's car?
Lacking a front wing.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. His car doesn't appear to be driving either. What is going on with Tilwick's car? I hope he doesn't.
Maybe his controller's died.
His controller may have died because he is now parked on the side of the track. That may get him disqualified if he doesn't get his car back running again. But here are the tire compounds. Everyone, apart from Maddie in the top 8, are running medium tires. Maddie is running the hard, which, if there are no safety cars, that is going to be and that is unfortunately a disqualification for Tilwick. Not sure what happened there, but that is a pretty good guess from Luca that his controller may have died. And unfortunately, he was parked on the track too long. And he's left the session. Not sure what happened there. But
Yeah, one to look at after the race. What a shame.
yeah, that is very unfortunate. Never want to end a
And
race that soon.
and yeah, you're absolutely right. My game was definitely glitched because I can see Matty in second place in the Ferrari. I've actually never seen him race before, but clearly got some great pace, just going purple in Sector 1 as well.
Yeah, he is. He's flying. I mean, he was going really fast last week at Silverstone, but he actually had an AI issue where before he entered the pit lane, he paused the game, and the AI did not want him to pit, and it actually drove him into the pit lane wall and DNF'd him.
Oh
So
my.
his result was completely ruined because of that. So he's definitely looking to pick up some good points here. He looks like Kevin and Maddie are going to be the ones fighting at the top two at the front. Timgra has gotten past multiple cars here. And we have a three-way battle between Dutch, Jackie, and Monkey here as our first penalty of the evening goes to Loki. We're going to have to keep an eye on those because the penalties are going to rack up really quick.
You're absolutely right. This three-way battle's quite interesting. The two Red Bulls fighting it out. Sati, Jackie trying to get back at Dutch, but he's a little bit too far back. Sensibly tucks in.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any team orders between these two. They seem to be very similar in pace. So unless one of them thinks the other one could get past Monkey quick here, I think it's going to be a on-track battle.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the battle for ninth right now between Northern and H-Ins. Both very fast drivers, did really well last season. I know H-Ins is trying to press on and challenge for a championship this year. He's on the hard tyre as well, so doing well.
Yep. And Canuck also, he had a great recovery drive last week where he started dead last due to a qualifying crash. Oh, and we have someone in the pits already. It's Hines.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I'm not sure maybe if he has damage or if he's going for a different strategy here. Maybe he's not liking the hards. That's going to drop him almost to dead last.
Yeah, there's a new front wing going on that car.
Yeah,
that's
so
the issue.
He did have damage. Interesting. I wonder if he maybe caught the back of Canuck's car while they were battling. And the front two are now just 3/10 down on each other. Matty does seem to be able to stick with Kev with the DRS assist, so curious how this is going to end up. I'm not sure. Matty may seem to have a little bit more pace because he is on the much slower tire currently, and he has a little bit of a snap there. That's going to lose him almost 2/10. But he's still well inside the DRS range. I'd say that's his main goal right now. He's not gonna win the race by just passing Kev King in the next 2 laps. He's definitely got to stick with Kev, give him some pressure, maybe make him make a mistake, and try and get him on the better tire strategy.
Yeah, meanwhile, Sati Jackie's overtaken his teammate Dutch into P5.
There we
and
go.
He's now closing in on Monkey Pill for 4th place. So it looks like he's got slightly more pace right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if you saw it, but I don't believe they swapped positions. I think Jackie just got by him cleanly, and he is now pressuring Monkey here with no DRS. He's going to wait for the next zone.
Yeah, it was definitely just a clean overtake on the last lap on this DRS straight. And as you say, he's now going to try and do the exact same thing to Monkey Pill.
Is he going to make it stick?
Massive overspeed.
Sticks to the outside. He's going to get by clean. That is
Good
net
move.
P4 for Jackie. Can Monkey hold off Dutch now with the assist of DRS off of Jackie? Now looking at the front two, it does seem like Matty has lost a little bit of pace to Kev King. He's now out of DRS, but he's still only down a second and 2/10, so definitely going to try and keep an eye on those two for a little bit. Timgra has actually stayed within around 3.7 seconds for the past 3-4 laps. So maybe Timgra's got something to say at the end of this race if anything changes.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing quite well. I think ideally we'd like to start to close in onto Matty, because with Matty being on the hard tyre, it bodes very well for him.
He definitely wanted to gain a little bit of time. So
but he's racing well. I think after his Tier 1 race, it's really good. I think he's got great pace. I've seen just how fast he is. I think keeping it clean is his main thing.
It looks like we got a battle for P12 or P11 here. Loki and Sin.
Oh, wait a sec. To first spun. Believe maybe contact.
Maybe
on
Canuck
turn 3.
with Canuck. That is
How are they looking?
I mean, it does look. I don't see damage.
No.
Which is good. I'm not sure if Canuck and Tafer had any contact, but it seems like they're driving normally. Maybe just a little bit of contact that caused them to lose a little bit of time, but
Yeah,
nothing
I missed
too
it, unfortunately.
major. Yeah, I was watching the battle between Loki and Sin, who are on very different tire strategies right now. Loki is
Yeah,
on
Loki on
softs
softs.
and Sin on hards, and those softs are
Interesting.
probably starting to die now.
It's a learning game for a lot of people. Some of these drivers
Oh,
are new not
absolutely.
only to league racing but to the F1 video game sort of franchise. And the soft tire is probably not ideal to start on, but you live and learn, and you'll see so
Absolutely.
much improvement across the season from a lot of these drivers, which is what kind of makes this league really interesting.
Exactly. Definitely agree with that. And as you mentioned, yep, Timgra is now only a second and around 2 seconds now down on Maddie, and Maddie's losing a little bit of pace to Kev King, now down 2 tenths or 2 seconds. Apologies.
Oh, and
And
Sassy Jackie got past Monkey Pill. Unless you already said that, I think we might have missed it.
oh no, I caught that.
Oh, sorry. Great.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he
I
got
missed that
past
myself.
Monkey, and Dutch is trying to pressure Monkey as well, but I think Monkey's able to stay ahead due to the DRS advantage that Sadie is giving him.
Yeah, I'm with you. Oh, good save from Dutch there. Almost completely lost the back end in the dirty air of Monkey Pill.
I go through the field here. I saw a 3-car battle between Chaos, JH, and Greystone going into turn 3. It looks like Chaos had the better result out of those 3 drivers. Chaos, JH, and Greystone not far off. Hines, I'm curious what Hines was going on with the strategy change, because he started only P7 and he swapped the hards on lap 4.
I think he had front wing damage. It must have
He
been
did,
only
yeah.
minor.
Yeah.
So I think he was a forced change. A bit like me actually in the race where I was deciding at the time between staying out with minor damage or pitting, and he obviously elected to pit. I chose to stay out in my race.
That's a smart decision, because, I mean, apart from some little bits of contact here, there hasn't been anything near a safety car, so all the drivers are driving very cleanly right now.
Yeah, hats off. And as we say, that H-Ins makes the move on Grayson. Questionable on the track limits on the exit, but good amount of speed and nice clean racing between the two of them.
Beautiful stuff.
Oh,
Also
but
liking-
JH runs wide from turn 3. So I think Chaos and JH having a little bit of a come together. JH forced wide.
He might be
Chaos
able to
coming
keep the
back.
position. No, he can't. Oh, side by side. Good move by Chaos. Keeps. Little bit of rear contact there, it looked like, but everything's fine. No position changes due to it. They didn't lose too much time.
Agreed. Oh, and Sting's Hero almost drops the back end, kisses the gravel. Is trying to go for a move on Loki. Looks like the dirty air is affecting these cars quite a lot in that sort of
The
sweeping
dirty
sector
air
3.
and touching grass and gravel really hurts the tires in this game. Even a small spin might completely destroy a stint on a tire.
Wow.
And
I'm following Camo.
Yeah, Sin's a pretty quick driver. I know he had way more pace at Silverstone.
Sorry to cut in. Camo tags Tafur, and Tafur unfortunately spins again at the same place. A little coming together there.
Turn 3. Oh, and there goes Tafer again, loses the car. And he has to get that car turned around, but he's got to wait for cars to get by.
Yeah. Nicely done, though, from Tafur there.
Yeah, it's respectable to make sure people get by before spinning on track. So unfortunate for Tafer there. He was having a solid race with Camo and for P9, but unfortunately it looks like Camo's little tap might cause him a penalty at the end of the day. We'll have to see what the stewards see.
Yeah, and Chaos again and JH almost tangling up, and Chaos just about managed to get the place back, but they're all over each other. Yeah.
Alfa Romeo goes wide into the wall. Sin loses his whole front wing, does not DNF, comes back on track very dangerously in front of Grayson there. If there was no ghosting there, I don't know about that, but he gets the car going again. That is going to be a forced pit for him onto the mediums, I assume.
Yeah, and
That
Chaos
is
and JH
unfortunate.
somehow avoid tangling up. They had a lot of contact, but just about got away with it. But JH now ahead of the Chaos Druid into lap 11.
Yeah, these three have been battling for a consistent while here. Ooh, don't get any braking under. Oh, lots of ghosting going on between these three. I'm not sure.
Oh, no!
Little bit of contact between Chaos and Hines. They keep it together, thank God. No.
Oh, no!
Oh, the glitching is really not helping us watch
I thought
this.
I was about to see an absolutely
I
disintegrating
thought
Alpine.
I thought Hines was about to ram into JH there, but it seems like the glitching is
Oh, but
really
I tell you what,
hurting
though,
us.
those three have genuinely just
and
rammed each other for real.
there is Hines going around. I had a pretty bad angle. I couldn't really
dear.
tell what caused that.
I was on H-In's POV. It looked like Chaos was slightly slower than expected. JH then slowed, and H-In's kind of went into the back of them, and all three did a little bit of a dance, but H-In's came off
and
pretty
as
badly.
we speak about that, Maddie has picked up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. That is not going to help his. It's not going to help his cause to win this race if Kev keeps the car clean. He's definitely going to have to try and limit those warnings now. Definitely don't want to pick up 6 seconds.
Agreed. Obviously trying to push really hard on those hards to maintain deltas to mediums, but at some point you got to back off a little bit.
Yeah, he is starting to gain a little bit of time now on Kev. I think those mediums are definitely starting to lose their grip now.
Yeah, I think about lap 18 you have to pit on the mediums, and after about 14 laps the pace really does start to go on them, at least from what I found.
You have a spin in turn 3 again.
Oh, Sati speeding in the pits.
Speeding in the pits. I mentioned it before the quali started that there was a lot of pit lane speeding incidents last race at Silverstone, and these guys, they got to get on it because 5 seconds, it doesn't end your race, but it definitely hurts.
Yeah, agreed. And maybe it's this glitch people are talking about with the sort of the green red UI.
Yeah, I did have it during the Tier 1 race.
Oh, are you on board with Sati right now? He's in a big battle with Camo coming out of the pits.
I am not. He's going to be on cold hards, but then again, Camo's hards aren't going to be super solid either. They're 12 laps old. But Jackie seems to get away pretty convincingly there. I don't think Camo wanted to fight that.
Well, yeah, fair play from Camo for not fighting that. Good to see. The other thing I've noticed as well, Sati Jackie down in 8th. Has he just pit? Yeah, he has.
Yeah, he has. Sorry,
I'm getting confused. Sorry. What I meant was Monkey and Dutch 4th and 5th. But I think before Sati pitted, I think Dutch actually got past Sati. So I think that's what triggered Sati to pit in the first place. Was kind of ending at the back of that train.
I don't believe so because I remember Jackie got in front of Monkey earlier in the race. So I think Jackie went for a very early undercut.
Oh, okay.
Because I believe Monkey was Monkey was splitting the Red Bulls.
Interesting.
So now Dutch is 2.7 seconds back, so Jackie decided to go for a very heavy undercut, and we'll see how that pays off for him.
Yeah, the hards can definitely get to the end from lap 14 with no issue, so that won't be a problem. Matty is slightly closing in on Kev King. Loki into the pits. So we've got 3 drivers now on fresh, hard tyres.
Kev King's tyres are giving up. Yeah, they're definitely going to start dying off here now.
Yeah, Matty definitely closing in. So yeah, as we said, around lap 14, those mediums really start to drop off. So this should be now where Matty's race comes together really nicely.
Absolutely. This is why you want to start on those hards if you can keep the car, at a good pace, because once the track evolution gets high, those mediums go much quicker.
Well said. And Sati Jackie, is that another penalty for track limits? What's he on now? He has 8 seconds of penalties.
Ooh, that is not very good. Let's take a look at the penalties. Yeah. Oh, and JH has left the session. Believe that is a connection issue. And Maddie with another penalty. There's the 6 seconds we talked about. It seems like his pushing is really costing him some time here.
Yeah, doesn't need to push that hard. He's in a great position. He needs to just maintain things as they are, and the race will come to him. Timger as well, with a 3-second penalty, so at least it's consistent. Monkey Pill 10 seconds off the top two, but he's keeping it clean, no penalties. He's racing solidly.
Absolutely. I'm just going to take a quick pause here. I'll be right back.
No problem. Loki getting past the AI-controlled JH, who I think has connection issues. Hopefully he'll come back soon. Tefur, who's had those two unfortunate spins. Doesn't look like either of them were his fault. Down in 15th, but he's on fresh hard, so he's got a whole other stint to try and regather and hopefully recoup some points with a recovery stint. You never know, there might be a safety car as well. In the meantime, Matty now 7 temps off Kev King, doing a great job. He has 6 seconds of penalties, but he undoubtedly has pace. Monkey and Timgra pit on lap 17. Normally 17 or 18 is when you pit on these mediums, so it sounds just about right. I think Kev King, likely you'll see him dive into the pits at the end of this lap. Oh, Matty all over the back of Kev King, activates that DRS. Doesn't even need to use ERS, just gets that move done. Oof. Not much room given, but great move from Matty there. Fantastic job. Did not give Kev King any room to come back at him. And it looks like Tag Delta has just got past Monkey Pill from the pits. So it looks like Monkey came out of the pits and Tag got past with the overspeed. Tag just running wide, probably track limits, but should be fine. Let's see though. Monkey with the battery of ERS and the DRS now going to dive down the inside, run slightly wide, but Tag Delta shows a lot of respect and leaves room and allows Monkey Pill to pass. Tag knows that it's not worth fighting. I think other drivers should definitely take note of that. The driver in front was on fresh tyres. What was the point? All that would happen is you'd spin or lose time. Tim Grenau on fresh hards will be lining up Tag Delta, who will most likely be pitting this lap. Now let's hope Tag doesn't need to pit because he's now got Timgra pinning him on the left-hand side. So Tag now can't pit unless he breaks sharp. Yep, so he's going to stay out. Timgra gets past with a good move into the last 2 corners. And Tag Delta drops to 8th, but it's had a really good stint. Meanwhile, his teammate has just gone into the pits, dropping for now to P8. Should come out P9. Tag doing well to keep up with the fresher cars in front, so making those mediums last, showing good pace. Dutch going into the pit at the end of lap 18 as Kev King now also pits. So Kev King and Dutch pitting, which means now will Matty come out into the lead. This is the key thing. Kev King, Matty. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be very, very, very close. Kev King is out, but he's only in 4th gear. Matty, yeah. Matty's slightly more speed, but quite far back, actually. So, down to 1.8 seconds. Lost a little bit of time. I'm really surprised by that. I really thought that Matty pitting onto those fresh mediums would have given him a chance of getting into the lead. But he's got a whole stint now on arguably the faster tyre, especially as with the lower fuel load and the evolution of the track. He hopefully can get the move done. Monkey Pill lining up Satty Jackie, who pit very early onto the hards to try and perform an undercut, and it worked because, as you can see, Satty Jackie ahead of Monkey Pill, so really good strategizing there from the Red Bull garage. But Monkey Pill with 4-lap fresher hard tyres and is already coming right back at the Red Bull. Chaos into the pit onto fresh hard tyres, comes out in P12 with a lot of clean air all around him, so that should bode quite well. Reflex Matty setting the fastest lap on those fresh mediums. Closing in on Kev King again. And we have a ghosted McLaren getting out of the way. It's good to see. Timgra now setting the fastest lap on hard tyres. So clearly got some pace. Oh! And Monkey Pill running a bit wide with a tussle with Timgra. Timgra up into P4. So just as I think Monkey Peel was trying to make a move on Sati Jackie, I think Timgrid then showed up to the party and rather spoiled things for the unfortunate Monkey Peel. Sync Zero retires from the session. Has he crashed out? Or will there be a safety car? I'm looking at the track map. It looks okay, but there's an Alpha. There's an Alpha not moving. Which one's that? Oh, maybe that was Sync's Hero. Yeah. So Sync's Hero dropped it at the end of the DRS zone going into Sector 2, which is basically where... right here, right where TAC Delta is. I think he dropped it or had some sort of issue. So that's Sync's Hero out of the race. Weirdly, no safety car. Very surprised by no safety car there. Northern and Camo are absolutely neck and neck right now, going through the final two corners. Very difficult to get these right in dirty air. Oh, and Northern, yeah, as I say, it does cut that final line, trying to get as much speed as possible, gets a 3 second. He's going to go for the move in turn 1. That's often a risky place to make a move. Slightly runs wide, has to back out on his throttle input. Might allow Camo back at him into what is deemed turn 3. As you can see, bit of desync from Sync's Hero leaving, but should be okay now. Camo diving down into turn 3. Really good hitting of his apex there. Leaves a lot of room to Northern, like big respect there. You know, didn't run him wide, had to compromise his exit, and he has now got past. So yeah, fair play to these two. I think there's going to be a battle that keeps going on for a while. Matty now with a 106.8. It's great race pace, it really is. Some good fast drivers in Tier 2. Only 3 attempts down now. But don't forget, 6 seconds of penalties versus 0. That is a big, big, big deal. And could shape the output of this race. But, oh, Matty leaving again. Very little room for Kev King. But Kev King sensibly kind of expects it. Dives out the way. Focuses on traction. And comes back at him with DRS. It's what makes these DRS zones really interesting, actually, in this track. That often, if you dive down on turn 3, you'll often lose the place because of the DRS zone. So sometimes it's better to back off on turn 3 and focus on that main straight. You'll see people like Max Verstappen doing that in the real-life Grand Prix that we had. Just really strategizing there at the DRS detection zones, as they're called. Matty now only 4 tenths behind Kev King. Oh, Chaos Druid. Is that Chaos getting past Loki? Yes, it is. Great move into turn 1 from Chaos. Up into P11. And Monkey Peel still trying to fight it out. But I'm going to go back to Matty because I think this is the battle. Kev King's battery is dead. And I think Matty has played the long game. And has now got past. Interesting line from Matty there. I think making it quite difficult for Kev King to react. Yeah, questionable. But he takes the lead of the race. Kev King can't quite fight this one back. H-Ins gets past Camo in quite an unusual spot. I missed the start of that, but he's up into P9 on really old mediums, so fair play. Will he dive into the pit this lap? No. Potentially next lap then. But he has got a very racy Camo on softs behind him who is making no hesitation in getting past. Very desperate to, clearly. Into turn 1, into P9. And this Dutch Monkey Peel Sati Jackie battle has been going on since pretty much the start of the race. Hats off to all 3 of them for not having any incidents or major issues. Poor Monkey Peel in this rebel sandwich. Oof. Oh, Dutch, yeah, just cutting the corner, but I understand why, because he was trying to be respectful. It's one of those really annoying situations where he didn't do it to gain a time, to gain any time. He did it to leave space to Monkey Peel, but unfortunately, it's landed him with 3 seconds. So let's take a look at the penalties now. To be fair, Dutch hadn't had any before. It's his first set of pens, so he's still in great shape. In fact, if the race ended right now, he would finish ahead of Monkey, who has 2 seconds more worth of pens. So Dutch, one of the best races I've seen from Dutch, actually. I've seen a lot of good races from him, don't get me wrong. But looking really, really pacey, really fast.
All right,
And look at
apologies
that!
for
Great
the
clean exit, getting past Monkey Pill into P5. That's a
apologies
fantastic
for
move
the
from Dutch.
delay.
No worries. Over to you, man. I hope
All
you're all
right.
good.
Yeah, I just had to check up on a couple things. All right. Oh man, lots of penalties. Good lord. All right.
Yeah, you missed a few.
Yeah. I'm sure Luca did a very good job commentating what was going on, but I just realized that Matty made a pass Kev King, but unfortunately with his 6 seconds of penalties, that is going to put him net P2 if Kev King can stay within 6 seconds, but he does have the better strategy currently, so curious to see what happens with these two. I believe Timgra, when I left, had a 3-second penalty. Dutch did not. Jackie was at 8 seconds. Monkey did get a speeding penalty in the pit lane. I remember that. Canuck did not have his penalties. Tack did not have his penalties. Camo did not. Hines driving a very clean race. Unfortunately, his pace does not seem to be the way or where he wants it, but he has no penalties. So if he can get within 6 seconds of Camo, that would be a position gain for him. Chaos with 3 seconds as well. Loki with 3 seconds, and Tafer not far behind with 3 seconds as well. Grayson and JH are a little bit further behind with no penalties, so good on them. And it appears that Kev King is right on the tail of Matty.
Yeah, he's doing really well on those hard tyres. He's keeping within the DRS zone of Matty, which is not at all what Matty wants to see.
Oh, very close, but no contact there. Very close racing between these two. Basically the whole race as of now. And let's take a look at the tire situation. Interesting. So Matty was the only driver in basically the top 8 to start on the hard tire, so he's got the tire advantage for the last stint of the race. Followed by Kev King, Timgra, Dutch, Jackie, Monkey, Canuck, and Tack, all on hards, ranging from 7-lap old to 13-lap old in that case for Jackie. Camo Banana does seem to have attempted to go for fastest lap with the softs, and he's maybe going to take these to the end. They're not going to be very fun at the end, but he's only on 4 laps now, so we'll see how that goes for him. And rounding out the top 10, we have Chaos, who's kind of under pressure from Hines, but I just realized Hines is on 21-lap-old mediums. That is...
Yeah, he had that unfortunate, I think, contact.
Yeah,
and then he had that
pit.
front wing damage, right? So it's a pit, and he's trying to run it to the end. I don't think it's going to happen. So my guess is he'll go a couple more laps and go into the soft tire.
Yeah, probably going to try and steal fastest lap. Speaking of fastest lap, who has it?
Good question.
Is Matty. It is Matty with a 106.8. Kev King with a 106.999.
It's a great time.
Yeah, definitely capable of taking that back. Position changes as the race stands. Not as big as Silverstone. The gaps that we had at Silverstone, people that started at the front were at the back. People that started at the back were at the front. So as of right now, Matty and Kev King have swapped places. Timgra and Dutch have swapped places. Jackie and Monkey have swapped places. Canuck is only at 1 position. Tack with the net highest position gain. He's in P8, starting from P14. Camo up 1 position. Chaos up 1. Hines down 4. Actually, that's rather surprising. I would have thought that Hines would have been further up the field, but with his pit lane issue where he had to change his wing, that definitely didn't help his cause. Tafer is up 1 position. Loki up 2, Grayson up 3, JH down 3, and Tilwick, unfortunately, with his disqualification on lap 2, drops him 8 positions. And these two still only 5/10 away from each other. But unfortunately for Matty, because he pushed so hard on those medium-ish hards around lap 10, he managed to pick up 6 seconds of tire, or 6 seconds of tires, 6 seconds of penalties. And unfortunately, he may be net in the lead, but I don't think he's going to be able to manage to pull a 6-second gap to Kev King especially with him staying in DRS range.
Yeah, the one thing in Matty's favour is track position and a superior battery percentage. Everything else right now is in Kev's favour. You know, if I was to call it, this really is Kev King's race to lose.
Yep, all Kev King has to do is really just stay within... He doesn't even really have to stay within DRS. He just has to keep slight pace here. And his tires are going to start to get slightly better than Matty's around lap 32, lap 33.
Yep.
So if he can just stay close, it's really going to be tough for Matty to do much of anything here. Best thing he could do is just keep that car in front and hope Kev King makes a mistake or a safety car comes out and changes things.
Yeah, two things I'm impressed by. First of all, Dutch in P4, he's now 3 seconds ahead of Monkey, so he's broken that train of the Dutch Monkey Sati train.
Yeah.
So hats off for that. And secondly, it's been a really clean race so far. There's only been a couple of questionable things. Overall, great driving from the whole grid.
Absolutely.
So hats off.
Especially what happened with Premier and some incidents in Tier 1, so it's very nice that Tier 2 is showing that they're not, it's not just, Tier 2's just drivers that don't really know how to drive and they always have incidents. No, these guys are still very skilled drivers, and you can see that very clearly here. We've barely had, I think we've had maybe one incident with contact that actually caused multiple position changes, so all of these racers have been racing very cleanly. And I'm happy to see that because, you don't want to have a stereotype built around you that because you're Tier 2, it's just, they're slower and they just cause more incidents. We don't want to have that.
No, there's a lot of pacey people, and a lot of people will come out of Tier 2 and progress up to Tier 1 and even beyond. So
now, I don't know. I believe this is the Loki, correct? Yeah, Loki probably... I understand ghosting is on, but cars do still have to get out of the way of cars that are racing on the lead lap.
Yes.
So, it's a heads up for drivers. Some of them may not know that because, ghosting's on. They can drive just right through me. But the courtesy thing to do is kind of just pull over a little bit, let them go by, and then continue on with your race.
Well said. You have to pretend the cars are really there, even if they're ghosted. That includes, rejoining any situation. The ghosting is only there really just to stop those annoying incidents where someone spins in front of you and then you get crashed out of the race. Yeah.
So let me take a quick look at the penalties again. Just want to see what everyone's at. Yeah, Sadi's penalties are high, but it's only really, unless if the time stays the same, it's only going to cost him one position. And there's actually a pretty, the gap from P1 and 2 to 3 is very high, and then the gap from P7 to 8 is very high, and then it's kind of just decently close everywhere else. So like I'm saying, if there's a spin for Monkey, for example, that's going to cost him a lot of positions. Luckily for him, the drivers behind him, he's like, Monkey has 8 seconds of penalties. Well, yeah, but Jackie's got 11, and Canucks, 9 seconds back with 3. So, it's not all bad. It's just unfortunate for Jackie that, when you have such high penalties, and the same for Monkey, you can't really make up positions on track, but due to the penalties, it's just kind of just hurts you in the end. And it's
an interesting race because there's quite big gaps for lap 32 of an Austrian Grand Prix, but because of the pens, it's actually super tight, as you're saying. So really, it's hard to call the finishing order of this race still, all the way through the grid, all the way down to sort of P12, P13 because of these pens.
And here's another example. Unfortunately, Grayson should have gotten out of the way of our 2 leaders there, but he did not. But I'm sure if Canuck rewatches the stream, he'll let them know. Just because, you
don't always have to raise incidents and penalize, but sometimes it's good just to have a DM or just a message.
Here comes Kev King. He's got a very good run. Looks like he's going to make the pass. And that is now Kev King on P1 on track and net P1. So he's got both in his bag now, and it looks like he's probably going to start pulling away.
Said, if these mediums dying off, you said lap 32, 33, they'd start to go, and they sure are.
Yeah, it looks like Matty can't keep those mediums as fast as he was going a couple laps ago. So we might see Kev King get out of DRS range relatively quickly here.
H-In's passing Loki. Loki having to take evasive action to avoid the back of H-In's. Runs a little bit wide, ghosted, but H-In's maintains, takes P12.
I'm honestly, I think the biggest surprise of the race so far has just been Hines. Like, Hines was almost the race winner last week, and unfortunately, like, yes, he had his wing change, but I mean, I didn't expect him to be so far back still.
Yeah. It is a weird one. He's done the right thing. He's gone onto the soft tire at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
He's made the most of it, I think.
And he's got no penalties, too.
Yeah. I think what he did, which I think I also would have done, was after the spin, he just held it out hoping for a safety car. Mm-hmm. And it's never come, so he's just never had the chance to really close it. I think if he hadn't had that front wing...
Yeah, if a safety car came out and bunched up the grid, he would gain 8 positions probably just off penalties.
Yeah,
just if he crossed the line, if they were all driving relatively close to each other. But unfortunately, he didn't get the luck of the draw on that. So,
what I would say to H-Ins is do the same thing again next time. If if something happens and you lose your front wing, I think everything he did strategy-wise was spot on. It just never quite fell for him.
Now, Kev King isn't out of DRS just yet, but he's coming up to a bunch of lapped cars, which will give him DRS in some zones as well, if he's within 1 second of them. But if everything stays the same here, it looks like our top 3 is going to be Kev King, Maddie, and Timgra. Which I don't think is, apart from Maddie who had his incident last week, I don't think that's quite far off what we had last week.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Kev Kim, Timgra, Northern, H-Ins, they're always ones I knew had pace from last season. Matty new to, not new to PRL, but new to actually racing in PRL for this season. Often commentated as well, so he's a really cool guy. It's good to see him racing well and having fun out there, actually.
Oh, and we have a on-track pass. Hines gets by Tafer, going into turn 3.
Good move.
Yeah, you can just see Hines' pace. Like, he was 2 seconds down on Tafer, like, I think 2 laps ago, and now he's already got past him. He's got a 5/10 lead. Hines he's got the pace, but unfortunately, just the race didn't go his way today, and still stick his head high. There's still a possibility for position gains. You never know what kind of incidents have happened that we haven't caught. And he said, that's what's nice about this league that I found when I joined it, was everyone gets points unless you DNF like very early. Even if you're P11, you're not going to miss out on that 1 point. You're going to get points. So it's really like having a bad result isn't going to be, it's not the end of the world.
Oh!
And we have
Kev King's been overtaken by Matty.
Yep, going into turn 5, good pass. Unfortunately, I think Kev King didn't really fight that too hard, because at the end of the day, that 6-second penalties is just going to basically hand him the win here, apart from a disaster in these last 2 corners.
Exactly. The last thing you want is a car with 6-second pens diving down on your inside and eliminating you. You're best just doing what he did, just skirt out the way and say, whatever, mate, you do you. Anyway, over to you, man. What a great race it's been.
Yep, coming to the line, Maddie finishes on track P1, but the race winner, once again, 2 weeks in a row, is going to be Kev King. Raced a fantastically clean race, no penalties on a very tricky track. Maddie raced a great race. He came home in P2. Maybe if those penalties weren't there, it would have been different. And Tim Grid crossing the line now. He is your final podium spot. Great race for him. Unfortunately, just didn't have the pace to stick with the top 2. And crossing the line 4th is Dutch, followed by Monkey a little bit further back in the Aston Martin to take P5. And Jackie crosses the line P6, but he's going to lose, I think, 2 positions there due to his 11 seconds of penalties. Actually, no, he lost 1. He was P6 and he lost 1 position. Flying Grayson gets driver of the day. I'm not sure where he started and finished, but usually I'd say a big thing for that is the
Positions
many
changed.
overtakes. Yeah.
I think for me, I would have given it to Kev King. I just think it was a really, really solid drive. I mean, the
Yeah, I
boring
mean,
option, but
yeah,
just raced really well.
I know people don't like. Oh yeah, from lap 1 to lap 36, he was basically the race winner. But I mean, he did what he had to do. Drove a fantastic race. Matty had the same pace as him, but Matty made the mistakes with the penalties, cost him the race win, and that's going to be a race win number 2 for our man Kev King.
Wow. I'm just impressed by the amount of pace with Tier 2, to be fair. There's some really fast drivers in there. Yeah, there's like a 106.9 and a 106.8 in race trim. That's like Tier 1 pace.
I mean, Hines with the fastest lap on the softs with a 106.6.
Yeah. Really good.
Yeah, fast drivers here. And we'll go through the final order here before the timer starts. Kev King, your race winner, followed by Matty P2, and your final podium spot, Timgra in P3. Dutch in P4, Monkey in P5, Canuck P6, Jackie P7, Camo P8, Tac Delta P9, and your final top 10 position going to Chaos Druid. Rounding out the grid, Hines with an unfortunate race puts him in P11, Tafer P12, Loki P13, Grayson P14, JH P15, and our 2 DNFs, Sin in P16 and Tilwick in P17. Now, do we have any drivers who want to get interviewed?
Were you able to interview Kev King last week?
Unfortunately, no. I forget what. I think he said next week.
Okay.
So Maddie is on for interviews. I will invite him, or I'll attempt to. I'll add him real quick. If you can find, I believe Kev King is PlayStation as well. If you want to try and find him, my man. Let me try and find Maddie. It's a Reflex Maddie, correct? Yes. Let me add the man right now. Add friend. I'll wait for him to accept it, and then I will send him an invite. And Timgra was P3. He's PC? Okay. So unfortunately, we can't invite Timgra. Kev King does not have time for an interview tonight. Unfortunate. Yeah, as you said, Timgra was PC. So who was... Alright. I do like to try and get... I do try and get 3, but if other people aren't able to hop in, then it's alright. Yeah, I usually try and go in order of, like, who finished, but now I don't even remember the order. Ooh, Dutch. Dutch is on PlayStation. Let me invite him. He was P4. Let me get the man Dutch. Let me go to our party. And I'll add Dutch, and I'll add Maddie. We will wait for them. There is Dutch, and there is Maddie. All right.
Yeah.
We can.
I'm just curious where this invite's from. I just missed the podium.
You did, but unfortunately, our race winner and P3 cannot join the party. So what I like to do is I like to invite the closest finishing position who wasn't able to make the podium. And, I like to try and get 3 drivers in to interview usually.
Sounds good to me.
All right, let me get the cars pulled up here. So we will start with Dutch in the Red Bull.
Yes, sir.
Coming home P4. You had a You had a pretty good race with Monkey and your teammate Jackie for most of the race, from what we saw. How'd that go?
Yeah, it seemed like the three of us there for the start of the race. We kept just switching positions. It was just switching it up, and we kept it pretty clean, the three of us. There was no contact, and at some point, I was fortunate enough to cut them both a little bit short and take off. But yeah, it was good racing, I'd say, between the three of us. The 1, 2, 3 in this lineup or this tier rather, they're quick. So
Absolutely. And I assume, do you guys race on comms together?
me and Saudi, no, we don't actually.
Okay, because I was curious,
No.
because usually when teammates are racing, I always like to ask, like, is there any team orders, or is someone going to pull over if someone's a bit quicker? But you guys seem to be pretty even in pace, so I assumed there was just clean racing between you guys, and nothing was coming from the outside to ruin us of any racing.
No, 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 by any means. Sadi's new to the PRL. It's great to have him here. He seems to be very clean, very respectful. It's nice to have Monkey back as well. Just seeing the three of us, you'd almost think it was the three racer team the way it kind of worked out. But we were lucky to use the
Absolutely.
TRS to pull away from the pack behind us. But yeah, there was no chance catching the top three today.
Yeah, there was big gaps between P1 and 2 to 3, and then Timgra and P3 was kind of just on his lonesome for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
you, Monkey, and Sadie were in a little group, and the Williams were behind you. So, yeah, great racing from honestly all three of you. Congrats on your P4 position, and glad that the penalties didn't ruin much of that three-way battle that you guys had.
Yeah, they started to catch up with me towards the end. I think at about 2/3 of the race, I was clean, and then it was just, you tried to
Yeah,
push a little bit, tried to create a bit
yeah,
of a gap,
the
but
penalties
it kept me
really
within.
the penalties really catch you out here. Like you think,
Made
oh
me.
yeah, I've gone 2/3 of the race without a warning, and then a lap you get two of them, and you're like, well, all
Yeah.
right,
Uh-oh. Well,
yeah,
just watching the standings too, and you used to watch the guys behind you catching a couple. So I just kind of brought it home the last handful of laps. But yeah, best finish in PRL felt good, but stressful at times.
I see better results in your future. I think you're a much quicker driver than just only P4. I'm sure you'll be battling for podiums for most of the season.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
No worries. And to our P2 driver, unfortunately, with the penalties, could not take the win home. You had amazing pace battling Kev the entire race. Maddie, how was it? Hmm. Yeah, we did. We did talk about the penalties. Yeah. Oh, I did not. I don't believe we caught that. No, we were. Ah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, regardless of you drove a great race today and a much better result than last week when you had that unfortunate AI incident where you paused right before the pit lane entry and it kind of just turned your car into the wall and DNF'd you. Yeah, it showed your pace was very strong today. Very good. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And once again, congratulations on your P2. I'm sure you and Kev King will be battling for maybe P1 for the rest of the season. You guys seem to be the two quickest drivers on track. So we're very excited to see how your battles go through the next 12 races left in Season 8 of PRL. Our next race coming up is, I believe, let me take a quick look at the roster. Baku, perfect. So another pretty solid, close racing track. So I'm very excited to see how Tier 2 handles that track. And to everyone watching, once again, thank you very much. I've been Gourd Sauce for Tier 2 at PRL. I would like to thank my co-commentator for joining me. Thankfully, I didn't get to speak alone the entire race, which was actually quite nice.
You're most welcome. It was a pleasure. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
And I hope to see you all guys next week for round 3 at Baku. And yeah, we'll see you guys all next week. Thank you for tuning in.